This is the tutorial for my media arts class. My name is Cooper Murphy. I'm taking MART 201 and I'm going to do this in multiple clips because I don't know how easy it is going to be for me to remember all 15 steps. So I'm just going to do the first 3 and then do other ones. So securely placing the camera on the tripod. You have this little black plate on top. My tripod is secure. You take this little black plate off and then it screws in to the bottom of the camera. Now, to make sure it's set on correctly, there's a little arrow that says lens. I don't know if you can see that. Meaning, if I'm gonna put this on this, the lens needs to be facing the same direction as the arrow. Make sure it's on right. And then I'm just gonna adjust it like this. And then screw it on, but not too tight because you don't want to damage the camera. Now that it's on nice and secure, you set it back on the tripod. Always forget which direction it goes. There we go. And boom. Nice and secure. And so now the camera is attached to the tripod. Now I'm going to take it back off because the other 2 instructions are showing how to use showing the slots. So taking this off, I don't want this to fall. But here is right here is going to be the SD slot. You just slide it open. Right now there's no SD. Now let me go get an SD. I have the SD. So this is the SD card that goes into the camera. I don't know if you can hear it. Right now it's popped out. That's popped in. That means it's secure. Now you have an SD card in your camera. Here on the bottom is the battery. It has no battery right now. So let me go get one. Sorry if this feels like wasting time. I can't explain stuff very quickly. Here I have my battery. I have my battery slot. I take my battery, throw it in, and it kind of like popped in because this little gray piece keeps it from coming out. If I want to take it out, I just push that gray piece back and it pops out. But now that I have my battery in, I can close it up. Now I can turn it on. To turn it on, there's a little dial on top right here. There's off, on, and then this is cinema mode, we've always been told. So I'm gonna turn it on to cinema mode. So I have it on now. So the little white screen pops up, but it's only in photo mode. I'll do one more, and now it's in film mode. So to access the main movie recording menu, right now my camera's turned on and everything. There's a little button that says menu. Press that. And now you have your menu. I'm gonna go to the movie recording size, and this is where you adjust the quality, frame rate, and size of the movie you are going to record. I have it on FHD for full high definition. It is 1920 by 1080, as it is the standard size, and 23.98 frames per second because it is also a standard frame rate. You can adjust this by going to different settings, like how this one is 29.97 frames per second, 59, and so on. To format the SD card, you want to go to this little wrench icon. And as you can see, I can go down to format card, press it, and I still have information on this, so I will not format the card, but what this does is it deletes all the memory off of your SD card. So I'm going to cancel. To access the exposure modes, I'm going to press the menu, and now I'm back to my main camera. Here is shutter speed, f-stops, and ISO. F-stops control aperture. When you have a higher f-stop, more light is, or less light is going to be going into the camera, but the depth of field will be narrower, meaning the scene will be more in focus. However, at a lower f-stop, the camera will let in more light and the scene will have more of a blurred background. For shutter speed, the lower shutter speed limits the amount of light, or increases the amount of light let into the camera, but also decreases the motion. So right now it looks like I'm going at 8 frames a second. Let me see if I can try showing. Right now it's very slow, but if I raise it to, even though it lets in less light, the camera's more smooth. Now ISO is the sensitivity of light going into the camera. A higher ISO means the camera is more sensitive to light, where a lower ISO means the camera is not as sensitive to light. A higher ISO is used for a darker environment to have a more properly exposed darker area, while a lower ISO is better for a brighter environment as to not overexpose the camera. And right here is where you can set it to auto. Now I'll be showing you white balance. To use white balance, there's 2 ways. The first way is to press this little Q, and I'm already on it, but you go to K and it'll look like this. And so white balance is the temperature of the light. So if a temperature is higher, it'll be more of a warm color. If the temperature is lower, it'll be more of a cold color. I think of it as more blue, where higher is more hot. Another way to do white balance is to first change the camera back into photo mode and press this little camera button to go to the live feed and take a picture of a white piece of paper in the light to match the lighting color of the room. Then you take a photo, if I can find the button. Now, I'll go back into film mode. And I'll go to the menu. And I'll go to the camera symbol, and then on number 4, you can go to custom white balance. Custom white balance will look at the last photo you took, or you can scroll through, but it'll look at the photo, and judging by the photo, it will change the white balance to then match the lighting of the scene. And now, everything looks like my room. The variable lens is this, and the lens can change, meaning the variable lens means it can change its focal length, is between 18 and 55 millimeters. Another location would be on top, where you can move the lens to be 18, 24, 35, all the way up to 55. To adjust the focus on a lens, there is this little knob right here. This knob adjusts the focus so that the object in the scene, which is my Crocs, would be more clearly visible. Right now I have stabilizer off and manual focus on. That's autofocus, manual focus. To adjust that my shoes are in critical focus, I use that front knob to adjust enough to where my shoes become clearly visible. And you can see every detail of the shoe.